everybody, to the Sunshine State, and we are in the hometown of this guy here, the bearded Tesla guy. Justin joins me here as he's just returned from his incredible trip all the way north to the Arctic, into the Arctic Circle, and all the way to the Arctic Ocean with this beast of a truck here behind us. This is the Tesla Cybertruck that's been fully kitted out and ready to go into lands unknown. Justin, thank you very much for taking a few minutes here. You've just returned from your enormous trip. Yep. Kind of wanted to introduce people to you that may not already know, although many of you do. And if you guys hear a little bit of noise in the background, that is the, I guess, cicadas here. That's right. In hot, sunny Florida. That's right. Which is your home state. So tell us a little bit about how you kind of came up with the idea of this incredible mission, the Arctic Cybertrek.
You know, a lot of people, this isn't an original idea necessarily. You know, people, automotive enthusiasts who also have an adventure mind, they know what the Dempster Highway is. It's this incredible man-made road. It's a dirt road, no pavement, about 500, just shy of 500 miles. And it traverses from Dawson City all the way up into the Arctic Ocean. It's actually the northernmost road to access the Arctic Ocean, and it's built on top of permafrost. So the challenges are about as extreme as you can imagine.
Right, and so for those of you that don't know, if you may be new to the channel, I am Canadian, recently moved to Austin, Texas, so here in the United States, and Justin, you are an American. So what's kind of cool for me is that this was really a co-venture, kind of an international mission to go up into northern Canada all the way to a place called Tuktoyaktuk. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
That's right. That's right.
So in Tuktoyaktuk, a very cool community. I'm sure you met a lot of really cool people. Now, Justin has an upcoming video, which you guys must subscribe to his channel, The Bearded Tesla Guy, because that is coming down the pipe. Now, tell us a little bit about kind of getting on the road. So you kind of came up with this cool concept, this idea of what you wanted to do. And of course, he'll get into that deeper in his video. But tell us about like kind of getting on the road, like actually getting the truck. You've got it outfitted. I mean, we can see you've got a ton of sponsors here, so a lot of support for this big mission. What was it like kind of just getting underway and getting everything moving?
Yeah, it was, you know, 2 years of real planning, and I almost took a shot at it in a Rivian a year ago, but long story short, it didn't work out, and I'm glad I didn't, because here we are with the Cybertruck. So over the course of 2 years, there's so much in planning, because as it sits before, at least, as it sat before we left, there's no charging. From Dawson City all the way up to the Arctic Ocean, about 500 miles, zero chargers of any kind. No level 2, no superchargers, no CCS charging network, nothing.
Wow.
And so to plan that is, it requires a lot of thought and a lot of consideration, because if you make a mistake, there's no backup plan out there.
There's nobody to help you.
You are very far away from civilization. I mean, truly, the first leg of this trip is 255 miles roughly. And in that 255 miles, there are 12 residents. 12. And they all live at the motel there, the Eagle Plains Motel. Wow. The only thing there. Everything to service this highway, north and south of there for hundreds of miles. And we're really lucky because, you know, selling this project to companies to help us fund this thing. You know, you'll see a number of sponsors on the side of the truck. They believed in the mission of what we did, which this wasn't just another trip to the Arctic Ocean, right, which is fun enough as it is, but this was something bigger than that. We brought a number of chargers with us, and we left those along the way. We strategically placed chargers along the Dempster Highway, and we essentially electrified the Dempster Highway, which is incredible in and of itself, but it allows people that come after us to be able to do this. They don't have to really think or plan quite as much. But now it's accessible to all EVs, not just Teslas, but all EVs. That is the mission of what we were trying to do.
Incredible. And as a Canadian, I can tell you that, you know, just speaking on behalf of Canadians in Northern Canada, you know, accessing these remote communities is really crucial because a lot of them really rely on tourism. You know, adventure tourism is enormous in Canada. You know, most of you know that I took a huge trip across Canada, not northernly, but definitely east to west, covered a lot of miles, many thousands of miles, and getting into places, remote places like Newfoundland and Labrador. And I got a taste of kind of what you guys got into. obviously you guys much deeper, but you know, adventure tourism is key. And now you guys have opened up that Dempster Highway to EVs of all makes and models that can really get up there and experience these unique communities, the culture, the artwork. We're certainly not going to hear all about it. We got to wait for your video, but can you give us a bit of a teaser as to like some of the challenges you guys overcame along the way?
Yeah, it's incredible. Thinking back on it, any karma I had, which I'm a firm believer in karma, I used all of it on just that part of this trip. We had a number of challenges just getting to the start line, which from where we're standing right now, it's 4,500 miles away just to get to the start line. Tons of challenges there. Tons of challenges on the back end too. But truly in the middle here, where we're talking about the bulk of this trip, if it could have gone right, it did.
Wow.
And we certainly had some unexpected things pop up, but this, for whatever reason, things went so well. It certainly exceeded my expectations of, what's going to happen when you can't find this person, or all the agreements you make with these businesses ahead of time.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily know you're actually coming. These people are used to hearing from people, "Oh, we're coming, we're coming, coming." They never show up. And that was no different for us too, So we had pre-arrangements set up, but even then, it didn't really mean much, we found out, because people generally, probably more than half the time, don't actually show up.
Right.
So, pretty interesting learning curve there on how this all works. But,
well, it's great that as well, I guess you had 3 Americans and 1 Canadian on the track, and you guys showed up there. And if anything, you proved to them that, hey, kind of put a good word in for the Stars and Stripes, that when we say we're going to be there, we show up. And you guys came to help, which is just so awesome and just very, very commendable. I think one of the coolest things is that, a lot of the people, and especially the children in Tuktoyaktuk, got to see the Cybertruck before many kids in downtown Toronto, which is one of the biggest cities in the entire country. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal. I love that kind of that theme, that you guys were able to share this wild technology, flex its technical muscle, and really show it what it can do. What was one of the things that surprised you most about Cybertruck kind of heading up that crushed shale highway in this like desert wilderness of tundra?
We went up there with a true good understanding of what this truck is capable of, what it can do. And most of that was what we thought it would be. However, the suspension can't be understated. And I've talked about it so many times about how amazing the suspension is on Cybertruck. But even knowing how good it is, you still don't truly appreciate how amazing the suspension on this truck is. Going up that road, I mean, this road is built to absolutely consume cars. It eats cars for breakfast. And all day long at each of these stops, you see people rolling in with tires that are destroyed, and people being vibrated to the end. And this truck just takes it so smooth. There's still craters the size of, mortar rounds, but it just did so amazing. And, I forgot my spare tire, and I didn't realize that until 2 days before we set off. So we had one spare tire, and we were kind of concerned about that.
Between the 2 trucks, yeah.
2 trucks. But we went with it, and turns out we didn't need it. So, I mean, the trucks just did amazing. They're not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be able to make it.
Yeah.
And they did, and they did it in true fashion. A lot of the local communities knew we were coming. I guess there was somebody following us on Facebook and posting updates along the way. So, you pull in, like, I can't believe you're actually here. And you're like, whoa, what do you mean?
You must have been so excited.
It was, man, because it was like
tight-knit community up there.
Yeah. And it was exciting for us, but it was equally exciting for them. And it's like, when you look at the artwork, even on the logo, you'll see the American and Canadian flag, like you mentioned. It's here on the sleeve too. It's a good representation. Although there's mountains between us, we're all one.
Yeah.
And we really had the opportunity to experience the amazing hospitality of the people of the Arctic North, and even the Canadian community as a whole on the way up.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's so kind of inspiring for a lot of people, because this really goes beyond EVs. It goes beyond politics. It goes beyond international borders. So it's really been about people. I mean, this whole mission, that to me has been my key takeaway as far as connecting communities and realizing that, we're all kind of playing this little part on this big blue ball hurtling through space. And it's just, connecting us
through whether it's EV technology or Starlink. I know we didn't talk about that, but that played a key role. So can't wait to hear from you guys as far as the impact of Starlink on your journey. Now that we're back here in Florida, kind of looking over your shoulder, looking back at the trip, you're back with your family. I mean, you guys were separated for what, like almost a month. I mean, most of our viewers can't even enter in that. I can kind of get a little bit because I was separated, and I know how tough that is, especially to be away from your wife and your kids, and just kind of feeling them. It's one thing to talk on FaceTime; it's another thing to kind of to hold them and kiss them and read them a bedtime story. And so, how's it feel kind of to be back from the mission?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, none of the stuff that I do would be possible without the support of my wife. She's been an all-star throughout all these years of all the crazy things that we've done, but nothing replaces being home and having the hugs in person and all that stuff. So yeah.
And it's a little warmer down here too.
It's a little bit warmer down here. It's a lot bit warmer down here.
Awesome.
More comfortable.
Awesome. Well, I've enjoyed my my couple of days here in Florida, and looking forward to more adventures. Guys, make sure you follow Bearded Tesla Guy. He has an absolutely epic video coming up. I mean, we don't want to spill too many details, but this should serve as a little bit of a teaser. If you're interested in adventuring, if you're interested in geology, if you're interested in interpersonal communities, indigenous communities, and just seeing parts of the world you've never seen before, these guys, and not only Bearded Tesla, but the whole crew with Teslatino, we'll put a link to his channel down below as well. And shout out to Gary, my fellow Canadian who went along on the trip. And of course, Nancy, the first woman ever to drive an electric truck north of the Arctic Circle. I mean, that's pretty incredible stuff.
In North America.
In North America, yeah. In North America, of course, yes. Yes, on this continent.
Yeah.
On this big, beautiful continent. Absolutely. A lot of firsts. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So thank you very much for sharing this little sneak peek. We're running out of daylight, so we got to wrap it up. But we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again.
Catch you later.